are those of this not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday edition of Running Point on Ysn Live.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. To answer my theme song's question, I am not on my own. I am joined by DJ Yoakley, the CEO and boss man, captain, oh captain, my captain, and all the other great adjectives you could use to describe DJ. And this is another week where we're one step closer to the end of these regular seasons and the start of postseason play.
Yeah, I mean, just another step in the right direction. You know, it feels like we just started yesterday with the beginning, and you know, here we are. Volleyball right around the corner, the tournament, and then of course 2 weeks away we have football tournaments right around the corner. So everything kind of weirdly coming to a close, and abruptly so.
Yep, and volleyball and soccer brackets have been released, and as the week goes on, we will continue to release volleyball and soccer tournament previews. We got Division 1 and 2 up yesterday. Today, we'll finish out volleyball with Divisions 3 and 4, and as the week goes on, we'll put up boys and girls soccer tournament previews as well, so you can have a place to go where you can see all the matchups, the brackets, what teams fall into what bracket, what some of their biggest challenges will be outside of the YSN family. Did some research on some non-YSN schools, some names to kind of be familiar with if you're going to these games. And it's going to be a great place to go if you want kind of a tournament central on ysnlive.com. So don't miss that. We will continue, like I said, today, we will put up Divisions 3 and 4 volleyball previews and Division 3 volleyball. DJ, I know we've talked about it a lot on YSN. It gets wacky. There are 5 state-ranked teams in one district, and 4 of them went into one bracket to avoid the number 1 team in the state, Lake Center Catholic. So there's going to be 4 state-ranked teams in one district bracket, featuring Crestview, Lakeview, Middle Ridge, and Kirtland, all in the same.
You almost said
I
it.
almost said it. I stopped myself. In the same world, trying to get into the district championship. World
Yes.
Bracket. I didn't want to say bracket again.
We do play here on Earth, as a matter of fact. I don't see any away games being played on Mars or the Moon yet.
We'll get there one day. What's the planet called with where the Monstars are from?
I have no idea.
Oh. Okay. So we'll go into some results from last night. We have a lot of volleyball interviews also to share with you guys for today. 4 of them to be exact. You'll hear from Maddie Bayes, a senior from Lakeview. You'll hear from Bree Littell from Girard. You'll hear from Olivia Booth from Middle Ridge. And you'll also hear from Gabby Bernard from Garfield. A lot of great volleyball talent you're going to hear from today. And we also have some soccer players scheduled over the week. So you'll also be able to hear, I can confirm that you're going to hear from Nick Novak later in the week. From Crestview, you're going to hear from Ian McGavin from Boardman Boys Soccer a little bit later in the week. And you're also going to hear from Macy Toporser from Canfield a little bit later in the week, as well as we continue to lay into soccer interviews and volleyball interviews. And we're going to try to get as many done as possible before these teams hit tournament play and really stare down the barrel at the end of their season, because the sad reality as the season goes, as tournament goes, means we have to say goodbye to some of these really good teams.
And it's a tough time for us. It really is. It's a tough time because you wish these kids could play on forever. And, you turn the page. You have to turn the page. The schools turn the page. Pardon me. Programs turn the page. We have to turn the page with them. So
Yep.
it's
And
a sad time.
the thing that pulled the heartstrings the most is watching like a team that might have a lot of seniors on the team finally have to say the end of their season, and those seniors that have poured so much into the program, whether they be superstar stat getters or just role player seniors that have put in their work for the program. It's sad nonetheless. Anytime you have to see a senior kind of realize that it's the end of their career at a school, whether or not they're going on to the next level or not, there's something special about high school sports. And I think when it's over, the seniors feel that. They feel that they're not going to get that kind of experience again, even if they are playing at the next level.
Only one
So,
team gets to hold the trophy at the
right.
end of the day.
Got 4 divisions, 4 teams going for it, and it's going to be a fun ride in volleyball, soccer, football. Postseason is right around the corner. But for now, we do have results from last night. We have some new champions to crown. We want to give a congratulations to Waterloo Girls Soccer, who are now officially the MVAC champions for the first time in program history. They're able to ring the bell on a conference championship. And, you talk about Karen English, everyone kind of highlights her 135 plus goals and counting in her junior season. But you got Rose Couch there. You got Olivia Bailey there as well. A lot of great soccer players. Waterloo was close last year. They competed with Springfield, couldn't quite figure out the Tigers last year. And this year they're able to go through Springfield and through Garfield and through Crestview, some other really tough teams that MVAC. Champion Girls Soccer tied them once. They came back and beat Champion the second time around. So Waterloo worked really hard for this MVAC championship. And for the first time in 3 seasons, you can say that someone not named Springfield has won the MVAC, as Waterloo kind of takes that crown away from them and dethrones the Tigers this season as the MVAC champions, like I said, for the first time in program history. So congratulations to Waterloo. We love to see programs like that maybe aren't used to winning or don't have a winning pedigree in their history get it. That's one of the great things about sports. It really backs up that old, kind of almost cliche of anyone has a chance when you start 0-0. Sometimes people roll their eyes at that, but when you look at a program like Waterloo, yeah, they've been the struggle bus in their history, but they put together some talent. They've risen them up, and now here we are, probably 3 years into this growth period of a strong junior class, and you're sitting in an MVAC championship for a Waterloo program.
Yeah, and it's called building a program. Programs don't happen overnight, and of course, in Waterloo, that didn't happen either. They built this program. They sniffed it last year, the championship trophy, and this time I saw the video. Love the video, them walking in and ringing the bell. Congratulations to the Lady Vikes.
Another big win on the soccer field yesterday as the Howland girls soccer team knocked off Canfield. Big upset, 2-1. The Tigers get the win. And with that win, they have a chance to share the AAC championship. They do have one more game to take care of business. They have to play Boardman tomorrow. If they're able to beat Boardman, they will win a share of the AAC. If they fall to the Spartans or tie the Spartans, the Canfield Cardinals get their 12th straight outright AAC championship. Canfield's already locked into the AAC championship. They're just trying to wait to see if they have to share it or not. But Howland with the big win last night, 2-1, as they kind of upset the Cardinals at home and get a big win for that Tigers program that kind of been living the shadow of that boys program for a while. Obviously, the boys program, such a good soccer program, state champion, state powerhouse. They're in the hunt for an AAC championship this year. They'll play tonight against Canfield. Both teams tied with the same record. But, now the girls' side coming up, and they're saying that we're a good soccer team too, and let's make Howland a soccer school. Forget about just one side of the coin. Let's get at both sides of the coin, and let's make Howland just a soccer program mammoth in general, and talk about all of our soccer players in the school system.
Isn't it crazy how that happens, especially in soccer, where one side of the coin, you say, starts excelling and the other side quickly catches up? Right. Because most of these kids are playing together for a long time before, they're separated because of gender. So congratulations to Howland. I love seeing it.
We've talked to, great programs before, or athletes and school systems with a great program in the system, and winning like that at that level, winning state championships, getting to state championships it kind of raises the bar for everybody else in the school. I mean, I think we saw it in the last 6 or 7 years at South Range. They got a couple of teams get to a state championship. Boys soccer got to it twice. Softball's gotten to it, and then all of a sudden, all these programs are starting to raise the bar, saying let us do it. Wrestling got to the helm last year and won a state championship as a team. So I think in programs like that, when you have one sport that goes and does it, right, it raises the bar for every other athlete to say, we want to taste that too. We want to join our student body and we want to join our classmates in tasting the sweet nectar of a state championship.
I think there's something to it, yes, but I think it's a little bit misconstrued. I'm not sure if there's enough sweetener in the sauce, so to speak, for that. I think it comes down to the athletes. Like a lot of these athletes are multi-sport athletes playing different sports and growing up friends, and they're competitive, all that stuff. I don't think it necessarily each different programs raising the bar for each other. It's just these kids are special, they're accustomed to winning, and they want to go for it. So,
and we've said it before, it all starts at the top. And usually if you look at these school systems with multiple sports that are doing good things, you also have you have an AD that leads an environment that opens the door for coaches to work together. But then you also have coaches that are willing to work together. A lot of these schools, even the upper division ones like Howland, you see a lot of multiple sport athletes in Howland. You see a lot of multiple sport athletes in Fitch and in Boardman. Even these bigger schools, there are still players that you have to share as coaches. And when you look at the schools that have multiple programs that are doing really, really good things, and then you look at their coaches and say, well, they're willing to share their athletes and they're willing to go and support their athletes, their drive to succeed in sports that are outside of their own. And in a world, in a culture that's kind of me driven and we got to win and we got to do whatever it takes to win right now in our program, it might be, it could be easy for a coach to kind of get lost in that and say, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get this player to win in my sport. And for lack of a better term, screw the rest of the sports and you can go and figure it out on your own over there, but you're going to do whatever it takes here to win on my program. And a lot of these coaches in the schools that have multiple successful programs just don't have that mindset.
No, and it's tricky. It's a tricky thing because sports get different support based on parents, based on, excitement. I hate to say that. We saw Crestview go to the state championship in soccer last year, and the excitement around Rebel soccer, I've never seen anything like it. Mm-hmm. But if you ask them, that was there the whole time. I think that there was a little bit extra push down the stretch. That's why the playoffs are so exciting. And, I kind of hedging my bets a little bit here on my last statement. I think that coaches are competitive. I also think that the kids see what's happening. When a team wins a conference title or a regional or whatever it may be, a district, they see the excitement build around the school. And, you said it perfect, Dan, when these kids do have a little bit of, hey, look at me, look at me. So when you're winning championships, there's a lot of look at me, mm-hmm. because you're one of the few left. So especially if you're going for a state title, I mean, we've been so fortunate to cover state contenders each and every year since we began at YSN. And the most fun rides are the rides that we have for those state championships, because it's always, can you imagine if this team wins it? Can you imagine the story, the DVD, so to speak, that this team's going to have as they come out of it? It's so much fun, and I can't wait to see who comes out of the muck here in the next few weeks.
Let me go to our daily scoreboard and hit up the rest of the results from last night on the volleyball and soccer fields. We have Badger falling to Campbell Memorial. This is a big win for Campbell. Badger was a pretty good team in our power rankings for volleyball. Just 3 losses on the season for Badger, and Campbell went on the road and beat them in 4 sets, 3-1. New Bear Brother Big Dogs of the Valley winner Kendall Brunn had another great day for herself as she finished with 28 kills on the day. That's one of the highest we've seen in the YSN family this year. And then we had, Carla Ramirez Ortiz doing what she always does, 43 assists. She had a double-double with also 26 digs. So 26 digs, 43 assists. Big numbers for the Red Devils setter. Cyber Cross had 10 kills to also be in double figures for the Devils. So Camel with a big win on the road at Badger. That's a quality volleyball team, and Camel trying to get momentum heading into tournament time. Liberty, well, they gave Alec Amurna a 3-set match for once, as they did not play 5. They took care of Matthews in 3 with the sweep. Southern Local swept East 3-0. We have Hubbard beating Mooney 3-1. We're going to talk a little bit more about that night after these results are kind of laid out. East Liverpool swept South Range 3-0, and then Western Reserve beat Salem 3-0 as well. We have Austintown Fitch winning the big matchup with Crestview in 4 sets, 3-1. The last 2 sets were very competitive after Fitch won the first 2 kind of handedly. Crestview won set 3, 25-22, and then Fitch took care of the 4th set to win the match 25-23. And then we were waiting on results from Lowville and LeBray on volleyball. On the soccer field, we had 2 games on the network last night. Poland put up football numbers against Struthers on the girls' soccer side, 7-0. The Bulldogs beat the Wildcats, and then Girard was able to knock off South Range in a close game, 2-1. The final score there on the girls' soccer side.
Big night again here in the Valley, and it just never ceases to amaze me. You know, every time I seem to think that this is going to wrap up, you know, we're trying to wrap up and kind of get our Ziploc bags in order here as we freeze everything for another year. I feel like there's 100 more games that happen on the network. You had one I mean, there was a ton on it last night.
Chris Sigler chiming in that, you know, the parents' buy-in is also important to a program's success when you talk about not just winning districts, but going on to win regionals and being sustained. I think that is definitely a part of the ingredient in the mixture of a successful program, having the parents buy into the we, not me mentality.
Well, it's huge. It's absolutely incredibly huge because the parents are the ones that are still giving the money to do things, right? They're the ones that are helping fundraise. They're the ones that are driving kids to practice. They're the ones that are saying, hey, why don't we go do extracurriculars? You know, why don't we go to the gym? Why don't we go to this? Why don't we go on a club team? Whatever it may be, the parents are so important to that drive. And most coaches will say yes and no, but they just are. I mean, if you don't have a good home life balance, in school, home life balance, you're in trouble. You're not gonna be successful. So yes, Chris Sigler, exactly right. The parents are a huge part of that pie.
All right, DJ, before we go into some of the interviews that we have to play today, I do want to talk a little bit about this event last night that Hubbard put on with Cardinal Mooney, the more than a game that they were able to establish and get out there. They marketed it well. They had a great turnout. We knew it was going to be a really busy night in Hubbard, and boy, did it kind of live up to the expectations of 2 programs, 2 communities coming together. They're both definitely struggling right now with loss, but they came together as one. And I was talking to you off the air before the show came in, and I went into that expecting more of a kind of a somber atmosphere with obviously both communities really hurting right now. But it was, I told you, for lack of it was kind of a party. They had balloons everywhere. They had a pep band rocking out. The energy in the gym was great. Carl Polini came and shared some really funny and cool memories with Mark and things that he was able to do in his life. And then Hubbard's principal came on and shared some really great memories from Jillian and the impact that she's been able to make as a teacher at Hubbard. It was a celebration of life, and it was a celebration of memories made with those people while they were here on our earth. And unfortunately, to reasons that we don't get privy to, they were called home earlier than we definitely wanted them to. But I think it was really cool to see not just the 2 communities come together, but it was really cool to see them kind of embrace the moment and kind of just let themselves feel whatever they wanted to feel. The students got into the volleyball game. It was a great match, 3-1. Hubbard got the win. It was great energy in the gym. I was proud to be there as a member of not just YSN, but this is a member of humanity.
Wow, that's a big statement, humanity.
Yeah, like it was just one of those human moments that you just kind of felt. And I felt it last year at a Hubbard volleyball game too. I told you about it when they celebrated the life of a Hubbard graduate and the sister of Grace Narcom, who was a senior last year. It was kind of the same feeling where you just kind of like, it's a backup moment. It's a reflective moment to just say, I'm just proud to be here in this big kind of it's a human moment. That's the best way I can describe it.
And those are moments, Ant, that you don't want to go to too many of those,
Right.
And I feel like these communities have done just that. And between Cardinal Mooney and Hubbard, it's unfortunate that they have to do it. But the good thing is, if there is a silver light at the end of the tunnel here, it's that these communities understand who is in their corner,
Right.
who is who they can kind of put their head on their shoulder of. And Hubbard has really stepped up, as has Cardinal Mooney, in the face of adversity, and they have not blinked. And they have done a great job of making sure that at the end of the day, the kids are safe, the kids are taken care of, the families that are grieving are protected. And a celebration of life is probably the right thing and the right terminology for it. So again, honored that we had presence there in you. And certainly it was a night to remember, and it was more than just a game.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's one of those ones that, like you said, you don't want to go to too many of them because it can take it out of you.
Oh
It
gosh,
pulls the heartstrings.
it's awful. I mean, you never want to lose somebody, and
Mhm.
that's part of life is losing people. It sucks. It's terrible, and especially when it's earlier than we could even imagine, like this tragedy. But to know that those people had so many wonderful people around them to put their hands together and pray, for them, and to pray for their families, and knowing that Carl was there last night, and telling stories of jest and things of that nature tells you how you're supposed to do it, and it's leading by example. We talk about leaders in this community, and how great, and we feel like we talk about leaders a lot on this show and in our interviews. That's how you lead. You lead by example. You lead because when other people have to go through it, they're going to look at the way you did it. And I give a tip of the cap, as always, to Kevin Hogue, the athletic director at Hubbard, and Carl Polini, the athletic director, and all the administrations combined that put on what turned out to be a lovely event last night, and one that people, can remember with pleasantries as they move on in their lives. So
I put in the article, and I am a true believer that tragedies can bring out really good positives, and I think this was one of them. I think these communities, seeing how many people are in at their corner and behind them, is a positive that can come out of tragedy. You look at all the major tragedies that we've had in human history, and you can probably pick out something that came about it that worked to eternal greatness. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I think last night was one of the things that kind of backed that statement up. So without further ado, we are going to get to our interviews that we have recorded for you guys. We're going to hit one of them up. Let's hear from Gabby Bernard, senior outside hitter from Garrettsville Garfield. And let's hear from her about her senior season with the Lady G-Men. Anthony Hartwig here with a Garfield volleyball player profile. I am joined by senior Gabby Bernard. Gabby, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Man, senior season, what's it been feeling like to know it's winding down and trying to be reflective of your whole volleyball career?
It's sad to know that it's coming to an end, but I'm happy that it's been a good season so far, and yeah.
Have you kind of has it hit you yet that it's the last go around and it's starting to wind down?
Yeah, I still have one more season of JO left after this, but it's my last season with my friends that I've been playing with for a while now, so it's sad.
What has it meant to you to kind of share this volleyball career, like you said, with the players that you've been playing with for so long, and to be able to just go play with them every night?
It means a lot. Me and Madeline have been so close throughout. We've been playing volleyball since middle school together, and we just have such a close bond. Like, it's like such a good connection between us. It's very sad that I won't be able to play with her
Yeah, and
after.
we talked to Maddie a little bit earlier in the season. Great setter. What's it been like to, not like you said, the connection's there, but also the connection on the floor with the setting and being able to hit off of her.
Yeah, you don't always get that with like certain setters. Like I've had a lot of people I've played with throughout my years of volleyball, and me and Madeline just have it so well together. And it's just not something you always get like with like it's just like one person like you get that.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously put in a lot of work to get to where you're at. You don't just wake up and put up the numbers that you do. So, what gives you that drive and that motivation to always work as hard as you can?
It's just like I always just think about like how I like want to be like better than like because not everyone has like the opportunity to be like where I am, and I always like think about like playing in college and like how like it'll be like better for like my family if I could like get a scholarship to play. So I always like work towards that.
And obviously, with pouring so much energy into volleyball and having aspirations to keep on playing it, you got to love it. So, let's rewind the clocks back to the start of your volleyball career and when you kind of started to fall in love with the sport.
Yeah, I've been playing volleyball since I was probably in like fifth or sixth grade. And I play it all year round, and I've been playing it all year round since I was probably in like middle school. And you really have to love a sport to play it like that much. And yeah, I just love volleyball so much. So
What was it about it that made you kind of fall in love with it? And when did it happen? I mean, did it happen immediately or did it kind of progress as you kind of started to play more and more that okay, this is a sport that I love enough to play year round consistently?
Um, it pretty much happened instantly. I think it's like the intensity that I love so much. It's like when you're like in the middle of a volley, it's just like there's no other feeling in the world. It's like, oh my God, like it's just so like it's like the adrenaline.
That's the true love story, right? Love at first sight with volleyball right there. Um,
Yeah.
when you think about some of the things that you do on a game day and some of the things that you love about, just being getting ready for a game, what are some things that kind of go through your emotions on game days that you love so much?
Um, I like just before the game when I'm with my friends, like the varsity, we all sit down together and we just talk about like what we can do before the game to like make it one of our best. And we get in the locker room and we'll have like a little session together, like we listen to music and just have like a little moment. I really like that.
And you're a senior, which means I'm sure you've stepped into leadership roles this year and you've taken a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. How would you describe your leadership quality?
I feel like I'm more of a stand back leader. I won't always be like the first one to say like, hey, like do this or do that. I like to let the girls like figure it out on their own. But if like I need to, I'll be like, hey, come on guys, we need to do this, we need to do that. But I'm not always gonna be like the first one to be like, come on, step it up because I like to let the girls try to figure it out on their own because I feel like that was me. Like I kind of sometimes you have to like figure it out on your own a little bit before you like need someone to tell you what to do, you know?
Yeah, and this team has a lot of underclassmen as well who have kind of figured it out and have kind of stepped into big roles. So as a leader that leads like that, how cool has it been to see girls kind of step into that mindset and just kind of figure things out?
Yeah, it's been really cool. We have a lot of younger girls like Hannah Koenig and Mandy Cardinal. They're really good middle hitters for us, and they really step into the role when we need them to and get a lot of big kills for us. So, yeah.
When you graduate and you're out of this program and we ask someone next year, what kind of impact Gabby Bernard left on them, what answer do you hope that they give?
I hope they say that I was an influential part of the team, like just like in like the way I like led and like the way I like influenced the girls. I don't know,
we
just
We know this Garfield community is very, very supportive of you guys. What's it been like to kind of feel that support all year and in your whole career, really, and be able to kind of be a part of this community? What makes it so special?
Oh, it's just so special. I love being a part of the Garrettsville community. We're all so tight knit and everyone loves each other. Everyone's so supportive and great. The fans are great. The students always come to the games and support us. It's just amazing.
Yeah, student sections of volleyball. Not everyone gets them. You guys do. What's it mean to this team that the student body and your other athletes around the school care enough to take time, either after practice or during their day to come out and support you guys?
It means so much because the football players, they get out of practice at like 5:30, so they'll go home, shower, and then come right back to our games. It just means so much to us, and it's just great feeling.
You guys have a very unique gym too. You got that gray floor. I know everyone loves seeing it on YSN. What makes Garfield and that gym feel like home to you, and what kind of a home court advantage does it give you guys?
Um, well, I know in the summertime our gym is really hot because we don't have AC, so it really gives us an advantage when we practice in there, like the heat and just like we all know like that we have an advantage because like we're used to the heat in there, so that makes it feel like home.
What's the toughest part of those summer workouts in the heat?
Um, Probably our coach makes us do like jump rope drills where we do jump ropes and we have a teammate hold it like this and we have to jump back and forth over it, back and forth. Those are so hard.
All right, so you brought up the coach, and obviously Coach Roach is one of the good ones, and one of the ones that is so highly respected. What's it been like to be under her, and what kind of things has she taught you about volleyball?
Oh, she's a great coach. She's always so positive. She always brings out like the positive side of volleyball and she's never like dragging us down, always encouraging us to be better. Um, she's just I don't know, she's not like any other coach I've had because she's like never bring like she's never like has she never says anything negative. She's always like saying positive stuff about us, always saying what we did good, never what we did bad.
All right, so you obviously set some personal goals this season coming into it. What were some of those goals? And now that we kind of get to the end of the year, how many of them have you met?
Some of my goals, I wanted to be better at defense, and I think I definitely met that goal because I haven't been getting as many kills as I wanted, but my defense has definitely improved, and I'm very happy with that because defense is one of the most important things about volleyball, and I'm just very happy with that overall.
You said earlier how much you play the sport and how much the end of your high school season will not be the end of your volleyball season this year. So how much has JO and the off-season volleyball helped you grow as a player?
Oh, JO helps so much just because JO is very intense and practice is very intense for JO and the competition is just like nothing you've ever seen. Just like the players in JO, like to play JO, you have to be very competitive and very intense. So it's just like nothing like it's very different compared to school volleyball.
Who do you think is like the biggest or best volleyball player that you've had to go up against?
Um, Definitely, probably like in school volleyball.
Either way, I mean, even if it's JO and you don't know the girl's name, but this one like really sticks out, or if it's high school volleyball and someone stuck out to you there, either way.
Probably Abby, the number 20 from Crestview. She's very good hitter.
Absolutely. We see her a lot. When you think about the players that you've taken under your wing and you're going to be proud of their achievements in the future, what teammates come to mind?
Definitely Montana McGranahan because I'm like kind of teaching her, and she's like taking my position as I'm gonna be graduating.
And now we'll flip it. When you were an underclassman, who were some of those seniors that did that for you and took you under their wing?
Riley Rock, she was the setter, and she was very influential. She was a very nice senior that always like helped us out and like was always trying to encourage us to be better.
What about in your personal life? Who are some role models that you have, and some avenues of inspiration that you go to in your times of need?
My grandpa, Roman Miller is his name. He's very influential in my life. He played sports when he was in high school, and he always comes to my games and always supports me. So I always look up to him and go to him for advice.
All right, so we've talked about the student section you guys get. What's your favorite part of being a part of a student section for the other sports at Garfield?
Oh, I always try to make it to the football games because I love going and supporting the G-men. I just love the atmosphere and just supporting all the boys because when they come to my games, I just feel the need to like go support them. So it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, so you get to go to Friday Night Lights and you get to experience it from the crowd. What's your favorite part of the atmosphere of a Friday night?
Um, Probably just like all the girls being there because like all my friends are there, and then at the end of the game we get to like see the boys and like tell them how good they did and just like support them, and like then we know like okay, when we have a game next week they're going to be there just for us.
And you look at this Garfield athletics community. The football team is successful. You're successful. Both basketball teams will be successful. The baseball team had a good season. The softball team will have a good season. What's it like looking around and seeing so many good athletes in this school and knowing that you're a part of a not just a volleyball program but an athletics program that has such a high standard of excellence?
It's such a good feeling because not all schools get to experience that, and like I'm just so thankful for that because it's just like everyone is just so like athletic at our school, and it's just such a good feeling that like we're all there to support each other. Like we all go to each other's games and we're all there for each other. So it's just such a good feeling.
If you had to kind of pick another sport that you would be interested in, because obviously you pour so much into volleyball, what would it be?
Probably basketball. I used to play basketball when I was in middle school, but
Coach Gilbert's gonna hear that. He's gonna hear that and think, "Oh, maybe I can get her to get her to come out for her senior season." When you think about the backyard sports or the recreational sports, what are some of your favorite ones to play in your downtime?
um, my little brothers play football, so I always like throwing the football around in the yard with my little brothers.
You Powerpuff quarterback? Yes,
Maybe.
maybe let's do it. Um, when you think about your off the court life and some of the people that you spend the most time around, who are some of your friends and who do you hang out with the most?
Me and Madeline are really close. Like we play volleyball together and just like on and off the court, we're just best friends. My friend Maggie Schaefer, we all go to football games together. Um, I'm really close with Eric Geddes.
He gave you a shout out in his interview that he said that he needed your autograph before he graduated. So when I asked him what athlete outside of the football team that he wanted to get an autograph from, he gave you a shout out.
Oh yeah, I got to give him an autograph then.
You got to sign a poster or something. What about you? Like, without let's take him out of the equation. Let's not just mirror it. But if you had to have any other athlete outside of the volleyball team that you wanted to kind of seek out, and you say, "Man, got to get this person's autograph before I graduate," who would you pick?
Probably Keegan Sell.
All right. By the way, he's up for Big Dog of the Valley. So Garfield fans, if you're listening and you want to go vote for Keegan, head over to ysnlive.com/big dogs and vote as many times as you want until Sunday at midnight. Great plug right there. What about school? What are some of your favorite subjects to study in school?
I like English the best right now.
What has been your favorite kind of English assignment that you've had in your high school career?
We had to write last year. I had to write like an essay about like a essay about myself and like my life. That was kind of cool.
Last question before we let you go. I want to give you the chance to just Shout out your support system, all the people that have been there for you throughout the years, and the people that you know that they have your back.
Okay, shout out to my mom and my dad for always being there and always driving me to practice when I didn't have my car, and always taking me to my travel sports and always being there for me. Shout out to my grandma and grandpa because they always come to all my games and are always there for me. And
keep going. You're good.
Oh, sorry. Shout out to Madeline because she's literally the best setter out there, and I couldn't do anything like this without her because she's just the best.
We love it. Thank you so much for the time today, Gabby. Good luck the rest of the season and your upcoming tournament run. We look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me.
Gabby Bernard is senior leader of that Garfield volleyball team that is setting up for what they hope to be a big tournament run this season in the district bracket. Once again, you can find their tournament preview in Division 3 a little bit later today, and also Division 4 volleyball will be up later today as well, as we continue to kind of pour into the postseason bonanza and the postseason excitement here at YSN.
So very complimentary of her teammate. I mean, just could not mention her enough. I love that.
And she knows that next year when she leaves, it's going to be Montana McGranahan stepping right into that spot, and that'll be Montana's junior season. So it's nice to see a senior not just worried about how she's doing, but worrying about the future of the program and how the next player up is going to do in her shoes the season after. That's how you build it. We talked about building programs. That's how you do it with leaders like that. We are going to take our first break of the day, pay some bills, and we'll be back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school. Crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. We love them and their sponsorship and their support for YSN and this show. And if you are looking for a car, they are the best place to go. They will take care of you like the professionals that they are. So once again, we thank them and all of our wonderful sponsors for all they do for us and giving us the ability to do this job that we love. Anthony Hartwig alongside DJ Yoakley. Got one more MVAC championship to give out as the Crestview boys won the MVAC championship in soccer last night with an 8-0 win over Waterloo. We talked about this program a little bit earlier on the show. They definitely have a state championship pedigree. They got all the way to the state championship last season, lost a handful of seniors, but obviously not missing a beat this year as they have won the MVAC, and they are looking for another big tournament run in Division III again.
Dude, anytime you can put up 8 goals in any soccer game, that offense is a force to be reckoned with, my friend.
Nick Novak is electric. I can't wait to get the chance to talk with him tomorrow, and that means we'll be able to play his interview on Thursday's show. It's going to be a great interview with one of the leaders of that Crestview soccer team, and I'm interested to see how they kind of, banded together as a team. A lot of people on the offseason in the soccer community were talking like, what's Crestview going to do? They lost so many important seniors, and they didn't miss a beat.
No, not, and it's tough to do. Whenever you think about getting to the state championship and you lose anybody, it's a challenge to get back in that saddle. And Crestview looks like they're doing it.
We have state polls out in volleyball and football, and I like to give a shout out to the state polls, even though they don't carry too much weight. It's a nice feather in the cap for teams to say that they've been recognized by the writers of the state of Ohio to be in the top 20 of each poll. We have 7 volleyball teams that make their way into the state poll this week. Second to last volleyball poll. They'll have one last one next week before the tournament start. Fitch is ranked 19th in Division I. They are a lone team in Division I to be ranked. Girard comes in at the 12th spot in Division II. They're the 1 seed in their district. So the 1 seed in their district, the 12th overall team in the state. Girard, they've had a great season, and they look to earn that 1 spot in the district tournament coming up. In Division III, Crestview is ranked 8th, Lakeview ranked 10th, and Middle Ridge ranked 15th. All 3 of those teams, plus 13th ranked Kirtland, are going to be in the same bracket for a district. It's going to be nuts. And then Wellsville rounds out the teams in volleyball, ranking 11th in Division IV, kind of quietly doing things in Wellsville, under the radar a little bit. They lost a couple of seniors last year, but still 11th ranked team in the state, just 1 loss on the season. That was the first game of the year to Western Reserve. Wellsville keeps on keeping on.
This is an interesting part of the year. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are trying to get momentum, and there's a lot of teams that are losing momentum that we haven't seen lose very much throughout the year. And now late in the season, whether it's because their schedule's complicated or maybe they're a little bit tired, I don't know. And some of these teams falling off. Crestview, I 2 losses when we're not used to seeing them lose. It kind of makes me a little bit wobbly about what we have them going into in the next couple weeks.
What makes me the Girard loss, they weren't really competitive. I mean, Girard just kind of came in and took care of that game. Fitch game, it took them 2 sets to get into the swing of things. They were definitely very competitive in the final 2 sets, winning set 3, 25-22, and losing set 4, 25-23. But I think it took them what it would be 5 sets with 3 in Girard and then 2 to Fitch to kind of wake up to that level of volleyball, that high octane, fast speed. You got to play defense with a one ball set to the middles kind of thing. And I talked about it with Ty yesterday. I think the thing that Crestview has to figure out is their best weapon is Abby Imps in the middle. And if you know volleyball, it is hard to set a middle when you're not in system on the offense. So if you don't have a perfect pass on your first touch, setters run around the court, they can't exactly set your middle blocker. So Crestview is so used to having such good passing off the serve receive. They definitely do a great job. But in that Gerard match, they couldn't get good passes, so they couldn't set Abby Imps too much. And when you take away that weapon, it's like taking away a big gun for Crestview. And that's the thing they struggled with the most last night too. In the sets that they struggled with, serve receive and getting a ball right to the middle to their biggest weapon.
Okay, so as a guy that I love volleyball,
Mhm.
I'm not an avid strategy guy in volleyball. How do you fix that if you're Crestview going into the playoffs?
You just got to, I know it's kind of easier said than done, but you got to get good passes. You got to make life easy on Grace Hour, because when she's setting, she's the more experienced setter. Now she does a really good job in the outside hitter realm when she is, I said realm, dang. And when she's in the front row, Lainey Hour in the back, freshman setter. So when she's in the outside hitter position, you have a freshman setter who's done a great job this season, but also a little bit inexperienced, especially without a system balls. So I think their best option is to make sure they're in system, especially when Grace Hour is setting, so they can get the ball to Abby Imps as much as possible, because she is their best weapon. She is the one that people have the most trouble defending, because she's not just a tall middle blocker, but her wingspan is ridiculous as well. So they need to work on just making sure their serve receive is tightened up. They have a good first touch, and they're making Grace Hour and Lainey Hour, whoever is setting, have as many options as possible, because when you're out of system, you can become predictable and you become a lot easier to defend for really good teams on the other side of the floor.
Do you think anybody playing Crestview is going to look at the past couple tapes and say, hey, this is how you defeat them?
What they're going to do is they're going to say, who are these teams attacking and serve? And if they're a good enough serve team to spot serve and really dive into, attacking one spot, they're going to do it. Gerard did that all day. I'm not going to call the player out, but there was one player on Crestview's team that was really struggling with serve receive, and Phil Walters noticed it really quick, and he has the servers to say, keep going right after her, serve after serve, spot serve it there. And they were accurate enough and they were consistent enough to just keep attacking that one player. And if teams can do that and you're struggling with serve receive, you either got to make an adjustment on the fly, or you got to, put someone else in to make better passes on the serve.
Interesting. Very, very interesting, my friend. Crestview's still the real deal as far as I'm concerned.
They definitely are. And these last two teams are teams that are above their district. They're above their division. They have a little bit more talent than what they'll see in their district, in my opinion, especially like Jocelyn Jordan. You're not going to see someone like that in that district. I know it's a lot of state-ranked teams. The district is good, but Jocelyn Jordan is just a different animal for Fitch that you probably won't see until, you wouldn't see a player of that caliber in Division III until you hit the regionals with Lake Center Catholic and, in teams like Independence. But Crestview definitely got a little bit of work to do. They've kind of exposed some of their weaknesses. They're going to get in practice. Coach Hauer is a great coach. They have practice today for the first time since that Gerard loss. So, back-to-back Gerard and Fitch, they didn't have a practice in between. So now they have a practice. They have a couple of practices in a row before they have to play Salem and Boardman to close out the regular season. So Coach Hauer will fix whatever needs to be fixed, or she'll do her best to fix whatever needs to be fixed. And those losses might just be what the coaching staff needs to know. This is what we struggle with. This is how we fix it. And it's better to get it fixed before the tournament than have to look at during the tournament and say, oh, we should have fixed that, So I think they'll be okay. I think Crestview's got a favorable line to the district championship. They have a couple of really tough teams that are going to be in the bottom side of that district that'll meet them in the championship game if numbers and chalk plays out. But Crestview's going to be okay, I think, in Division III. The football state poll is out too. We have a lot of teams that match up in this poll, and in D2, the lone team in the state poll is Fitch, ranked at 11. In D3, Canfield comes in at 3, Ursuline comes in at 7, Cheney comes in at 8. In Division 4, West Branch is 7. They are the 2 in the region computer rankings currently. In D5, South Range is ranked 4th in the state. In D6, Valley Christian is ranked 11th. And then the most we have in one division, actually the tied for the most, 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 7. Warren JFK, the top-ranked team in the state in Division 7. Lowville is 7, and Southern Local is still in the state poll at 16 after the loss to Valley
I mean,
Christian.
that's a valuable loss. I mean, really, that's a great team that they played in Valley Christian. Whoever won that game was going to be seen as a favorite moving forward into the playoffs. And I don't want to get it twisted. I know Kirtland is a dog in D6 now, and South Range is thanking their lucky stars that they're out and not looking over or past anybody. But you know who's looking at Kirtland now? Valley Christian.
Christian,
and
absolutely.
I like it because Southern runs the same style offense as Kirtland, and you saw what Valley was able to do last Friday. Now, Kirtland can pass the ball a little bit better, but I'm going to say that if Valley's as physical as they were last Friday, it could be a dogfight.
And Southern's going to look at that tape and say, okay, yes, we lost, but there's that one play, the snap that went over the head. It's one of those fluke plays. It's unfortunate that it happened, but you got to think to yourself, like, well, that's not going to happen again. And if that doesn't happen, that drive continues, and maybe that game doesn't get sealed with the 15-6 touchdown that the Valley Christian was able to score after that turnover. So Southern's going to look at that and say, okay, we fixed that. We're still in this game. We're still competitive, and we still have a chance to go win the game. So let's just tighten that screw up a little bit, make sure that, all the specialty positions and the snaps are under great detail. And I think they'll be okay.
I think they'll be fine.
Division 7, I mean, Valley Christian is still a division ahead of Southern. So it's like you said, it's a valuable loss to a team that they won't have to see in the playoffs. They will have to see Warren JFK eventually, though.
Well, and that's the $1 million question is can Southern stop Warren JFK or vice versa and add Louisville to that mix? And that is going to be a great division. Great football to watch.
Louisville's got a big one with Middle Ridge this week coming up, and that everyone is kind of saying this is Louisville's last big test before playoffs. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with it. It's I just talked to Dana about it today. That's our featured game for Channel 21. I don't know, man. People keep talking about tests that Louisville have had.
We keep passing them.
I think they're more like pop quizzes at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a real test. They haven't had to really study for I don't want to say anybody, but they just kind of have to know what they're doing.
Right.
And pardon me. I got it. Be comfortable in their own skin is what Louisville has had to do lately. I think this is their first actual test, and I think Mineral Ridge is going to push them out of their comfort zone. And, we saw Springfield kind of give them the biggest test, both of these teams, actually. But I think Mineral Ridge they're going to have something for them. I mean, I know it's going to be a special night for the Rams. And it's the last away game for Louisville. So I think you're going to get to see a lot of what these two teams have to offer in week 11 here in week 9.
I know a lot of people talk about Tristan Valley and Ian Earn, rightfully so, but Middle Ridge has a very good defense that is putting up good numbers, and obviously they want to slow down Vinny a little bit in that Louisville offense. You can't shut him down. I don't think you're going to shut him down.
I mean,
but slow him down, like keep him below 40 points. that would be
for 41 touchdowns this year. 41 touchdowns. And you think about it, like that's surreal. Most people, there was a game he threw 9 touchdowns. There's some seasons that don't go by where a cat throws 9 touchdowns. So, Vinny Ballone's having a whale of a year, just an absolute unbelievable year. Probably should be up for Mr. Ohio football, or Mr. Football Ohio, whatever that is. And then, but here's the thing. If you don't win this Ridge game, there's going to be a lot of people that look at you and go, we told you so.
Right.
We told you so. Like I get it every week. Told you so. Told you so. Like Vinny Balone he passes all the eye tests. He passes all the tests that you can give him. He's 8-0 right now, and his teammates are in the same boat. What else do you want from Louisville? It's like every week we're waiting for them to fall. We're waiting for them to trip up. Right. What if they don't? Then
you'll still get the people that say I told you so.
This ride.
Unfortunately, that's just the nature of, or the comments that we get on our power rank, because we're still going to get, even if they win out and they probably win a state championship, they'd still be
It's incredible.
they'd still be
to me.
down on Louisville.
Like, people just need to enjoy the ride, because this is a once in a generation quarterback that we're seeing. And instead of just, watching him and being amazed and having fun with it, they're like, well, he's not playing Austintown Fitch and he's not playing Massillon, Washington. And he's not going to. He's in D7. He's not going to play D2. It's just not, he's not going to do it.
I like to see how someone's doing in their pond or their river, or their lake, whatever you want, whatever big body of water you want to use. You can't control which one you're placed in. And all you can do is dominate the one you're in. Dominate the sandbox.
Race, man. Run your race. That's all
right.
what it's all about.
All Vinny can do, all Louisville can do is just, here's the teams that are in front of us. Here are the 10 teams we have to play. Let's dominate our sandbox and then go to the playoffs and earn that whatever seed we get out of the computer points after it's all said and done. And that's what they've been doing. Every team that kind of comes in front of them, even Springfield gave them a pretty big test. But in the end of the day, it was still 42-24. They still kind of took care of business and put their foot down in the end of that game. So every team that's kind of come in front of them, they just kind of been busting through that door saying, okay, this test, boom. Okay, this test, air quotes test, boom. Okay, what do you got next for us? And the universe is saying next we have Middle Ridge. And I think Louisville's going to be prepared for this game. It's going to be a good one. I think Middle Ridge is going to be have enough offense to kind of keep up with them and go tick for tat with Louisville. It's going to be a fun game, and it's going to be one that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the week with the football preview on Friday with Ty. And obviously the Power Hour on Thursday will be a good one. Where you guys talk about football previews, the Super Show on Friday as well. Yep. Always good football previews, and I'm sure that game will be talked about a lot more. And like you said, it'll be featured on the special with Dana Ballish that you have every week with 21 WFMJ as well. So that game's going to be talked about a lot this week. We have 3 more interviews to get to, DJ, but before we do, I do want you to quickly preview tonight at Legends, because it is Tuesday, which means you're going to be interviewing some South Range players, and obviously Dan Yeagley is going to be there as well. And it's a great time at Legends, and we also have the Golden Dawn with Steve Leslie and Ursuline. Who you have on the show on the interviews today for Legends and South Range?
Tonight's scheduled to appear are, hang on one second, I want to make sure that they were confirmed before I throw their names out there. I am going to have Tyler Remish, as well as Bailey Ryan, and Cade Whitmer will be joining me, as well as Dan Yeagley at Legends tonight, 7:30 in Boardman. If you can't be there, just tune in. We'll have it live. I'm actually cutting up the old ones right now, trying to make player profiles. So join us, and if you can't get to us, make sure you get over to our friend Steve-O, who spent the day here at the office yesterday. It was awesome. They do great things over at the Golden Dawn and with Ursuline. So looking forward to continuing the tradition on Tuesdays, and naturally we're going to be doing this for basketball season and hopefully baseball and softball season as well. So if you're out there and you want something like that, now's the time to get involved, because we're lining them up.
All right, and it's going to be good eats and good content at Legends. Great food. You've been singing the praise of Legends ever since you stepped foot there. Great food down there at Legends, and also great content to listen to if you want to go down there and see a live interview show with South Range football. We have 3 volleyball interviews to get to. We're going to play 2 of them back to back and then come back, talk about it a little bit, and then we'll get to the third one to close out the show. Let's hear from Middle Ridge senior and middle blocker Olivia Booth. And about Middle Ridge's great season, like we said earlier, ranked in the state number 15 right now, and she's a big reason why. So here's Olivia Booth from Middle Ridge. Anthony Hartwig here with a Middle Ridge volleyball player profile. I am joined by senior Olivia Booth. Olivia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so senior season, you're going into everything. It's the last time you're going to do it. What's it been like to kind of start to realize that it's your last go around?
It's crazy. Honestly, I didn't realize, but it's hitting me right now, and I'm excited, but it's a little sad.
When did it start hitting you? Like, when did you start realizing that, okay, this is my senior year, and this is it?
Honestly, it had to be last night because we played our rival McDonald and we won. And I got in the locker room and I was like, wow, that's my last time, playing my rival. And it really hit me right then.
So it never hit you until last night. Like you were just trucking along, and then
Yeah.
last night it was like, oh dang, I'm a senior.
Yeah, I think I was kind of like pushing it to the back of my head because it is a little sad, but yeah, it really hit me last night.
What were some of those emotions like knowing when it kind of became reality?
It was kind of sad because volleyball is such a fun sport for me, and I don't know. I'm still excited though because we have a lot more to do, but yeah.
A lot ahead of you, but one goal is done. You've won the conference championship last night with that win over McDonald. I know that had to be one of your team's, first goals, first and foremost. How did it feel last night to kind of finally put that goal to bed and to be able to check it off?
It felt great. We were all looking forward to it, but I think now since it's over, we can look forward to tournaments.
And yeah, you do have tournaments to look forward to. And last year you got so close. You were in districts. How hungry is this team to kind of get back to a district championship and win another one, which would be the second in 3 years for the Rams?
Yeah, we are so excited. We've put in a lot of work, and I think we're ready to go.
As a senior, you're asked to lead this team, not just statistically, but also emotionally and energetically. So how have you kind of taken upon yourself to be a leader, and what kind of qualities do you kind of exemplify as a leader?
I think it's really important to make sure that everyone stays up and excited to play, because I know if I get down, I don't play well. So when I'm on the court, I try to motivate and keep everyone excited to play.
What kind of things do you do in a game day before the game to get yourself in that mindset, in that, time to play mentality?
Honestly, for me, I need to get just in a good mood. So I try to talk to the girls, have some fun, but still stay ready to play.
All right. So what are some other pregame routines you have? Do you have any that you have to stick to? Are you superstitious at all?
I'm not really superstitious, but I know my one teammate, Gianna, she would get a pulp smoothie before every game. And I was like, you know what, maybe I'm going to do that. So now I have to get the same smoothie before every game.
I know one of the routines you guys have are the ram jacks that you do right after the JV game. That's become kind of a tradition at Middle Ridge, not just for volleyball, but for pretty much every team.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing those, what does that kind of do for this team? Like, what does that do right before a game to get you guys ready?
I think it gets us first warmed up and excited, but it also reminds us we're playing for Middle Ridge Rams and to have Ram pride.
Is there a lot of pressure to be in sync? I mean, I feel like if one person is a little bit off, they're gonna get called out.
Yeah, we do call them out, but we all laugh about it, so it's okay.
You guys also have one of the best student sections in the area. There's a reason there's a golden megaphone on that wall.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to feel the energy of this crowd every time you have a home game?
It's amazing. Honestly, I think we play a lot better when we have them cheering us on, and it just feels great.
We look at all the pictures that we have of Middle Ridge and the energy of this team on these snapshots that we're able to grab. You guys have an extra energy than anybody else. Where does that come from? Where do you think the energy of this locker room kind of comes from?
I think we're all just so close, and we want everyone to succeed and do well. So seeing that happen gets us so excited.
If you had to pick kind of one teammate that's the spark plug, or one teammate that really gets you guys fired up, who do you think it is?
I think it's Faith Schneider. She just has such good energy and is excited, and she'll do anything to put someone in a good mood.
All right, so we go into your game, and there's a lot of different things that you're able to do. You get your hands in a lot of different stat categories. What's the best feeling in volleyball for you? Is it a big block in the middle, a big kill, an ace? What do you got?
I think a big kill. Oh, a big block as well, but I feel like a big kill really gets me excited.
You do both of them so much you can't decide.
Yeah.
As a hitter, you are blessed with a tremendous setter in Samantha Allett. We saw her get her 1,000th career assist just as a junior. I mean, what's it like kind of building a relationship with her, and how much better does she make these hitters?
It's amazing, and I think we do so well because if say a set is off, which it's not likely, we can tell her like, hey, can you bring it down a little bit, or can you set it a little bit higher? And she'll do exactly that, and she'll listen and not get upset. So I think it's great.
Every hitter wants set in a different spot. What's your like perfect set? Where do you like it?
I like a one ball in the middle, not too high, but not too low, just in the perfect sweet spot, which of course Sam knows what that is. So it's
And
good.
those one balls, you can only do them if you're in system. So I
Mhm.
want to give you a chance to also shout out your defense because, man, it's good.
Yeah, I know as a hitter, something you worry about is getting blocked, but I know we have such a good defense that if I do get blocked, I know I have cover, and it's reassuring.
When you're going to hit and you do get blocked, like you said, it happens. You have a lot
Mhm.
of good blockers on your schedule. How do you kind of bounce back from that mentally and just keep in attack mode even though you just got rejected?
Yeah, I mean, I also have to like keep in mind that if there's two blockers, like maybe not attack the ball, and tip it. But I think staying confident and just getting back in the groove of swinging is really important.
How great of a feeling is it to kind of return the favor the next time that person goes to attack and you can show that you can block a little bit too.
Yeah, it feels great.
Um, let's talk about Coach Lesko and what he's meant to you and how much he's brought to your game. One of the most respected coaches in the area. I'm sure it's been a blessing for you to be under him. What kind of things has he taught you, not just about volleyball, but about yourself, in life?
He's taught me a lot about volleyball. I honestly didn't know that much coming into the program, and I've definitely gotten a lot better. So I'm very thankful for that. And he's also taught me that hard work does pay off because I've come so far and we work very hard.
We get to see him so much on the sidelines. What's something that people that don't get to see him outside of games should know about Coach Lesko?
Even though he looks very serious and like a very hardworking coach, which he is, he does joke around with us, and it's good because we do work so hard. So it's good to see him joke around and have fun.
What are some ways he likes to keep things a little bit light at times?
I know like sometimes when we're in a timeout, he'll make jokes, and if it's not that serious of a moment, we'll have fun on the sidelines.
And your warm-ups as well with him are, very unique. He hammers the ball at all of you guys and
Mhm.
makes you dive across the floor to get him. It's a very high intensity warm-up. What kind of advantage and competitive edge do you think that gives you guys?
I think it just gets us ready for the game because you never know when the ball is going to get hit off a block and shanked in like different directions. So I think it just gets us ready and our feet moving.
As a senior, you unfortunately will have to leave this program next year. But if we were able to ask someone next year what kind of impact Olivia Booth left on this Rams volleyball program, what would you hope their answer would be?
I would hope that I just motivated them and got them in a good mood and kept like their spirits up during the game because I know I do get down on myself, and I hope that when I cheer people on, they really appreciate it.
I want to give you a chance to talk about your family. Are you in a big family, a small family? How much have they meant to you, and how much have they supported you throughout your career?
Yeah, my family is very important to me, and they're always at every single game, at talking to me about practices afterwards, and they really motivate me and want me to do what makes me happy, and they really want me to succeed as well. So it's very, very important that I have them backing me up.
We know that your mom has that coaching mindset and coaching background as well. So, what's that like having someone that can, watch your film or watch you play and give you some helpful advice here and there?
It's good. She can sometimes like show me things that, oh, like I didn't realize I was doing that wrong, or I didn't realize that happened during games. So I get like a different point of view.
After you graduate, what are some of your future plans? Where do you want to see yourself in about 5 or 6 years?
I'm hoping to have a nursing degree of some sort. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but nursing's the path I want to take.
Have you made a decision about athletics in college, or are you trying to pursue it, or have you decided that, maybe high school is going to be it?
I've thought about throwing the disc in college because I've had a lot of success this year with that. And I think that's the only thing I would do if I was to do a sport.
What's it like kind of switching mindsets and being a multiple sport athlete and going from volleyball into the next one?
Honestly, I don't think I switch mindsets that much. I feel like it's more of like a team mindset. So like keeping my team, ready to play and playing as a team is just what I think is the most important. So
What kind of things do you take from volleyball that help you in the other sports that you play?
definitely communication. Communication is a big thing in volleyball, and I've realized that it really helps my play in basketball as well. Communicating on the court with girls and your coaches is really important. So yeah.
What's the favorite sport to play?
Definitely volleyball. It is just so much fun. I love it so much.
Obviously, to put all that energy into so many sports, you have to have that competitive drive. Where do
Mhm.
you think that comes from, and where do you think that drive to keep wanting to compete comes from?
It's definitely from my family. We have a lot of people who play sports in our family, and I've just grown up around it. They're all competitive, so obviously I got that trait, and I just love winning.
Who's the most competitive in the family?
It probably is my mom, but she has 2 other brothers who are very competitive. She's grown up with them, playing basketball in the yard and stuff like that, so they're all pretty competitive.
Who wins on family game night the most?
Probably my mom. Yeah.
No mercy. We want to get to know you a little bit off the court before we let you go. So my first question to you is, what's your playlist look like? What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I listen to a lot of different music. I like rap, I like R&B. It depends on my mood.
What about like pregame hype up music? What are a couple of songs that can always get you in that mindset ready to play a game?
Well, I didn't realize it until this year, but our playlist has a lot of different songs, and every time a Rihanna song comes on, I get very hyped. So it would have to be any Rihanna song.
What are some songs on that playlist that are kind of guilty pleasure songs? Maybe they're not the coolest thing to listen to, but you can't help but jam to them.
Oh, I don't know. I can't think of like the names of songs right now, but
What about
I
some
don't know.
artists? If you can't think of names, what are some artists that are like, yeah, they bop. I don't care if people think it's weird.
I don't know. I I mean, I feel like no one really gets excited to Rihanna like I do.
Right
I
there,
just
you can just go with Rihanna right there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Rihanna song?
I like Umbrella.
All right,
Yeah.
old school, oldie.
Mhm.
Uh, what about if we were to take you to karaoke night? What would be your go-to karaoke song?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I can't
Yeah,
think of
we're
songs right now.
these are the tough hitting questions. Like, who's the best singer on the team?
Oh my gosh. Definitely Faith. She'll put her whole soul into a song, and it gets us definitely excited before a game.
What teammate should never go to karaoke night?
Mm, probably Gianna.
Uh, what what teammate do you think has like the most swag or the most style?
That's an interesting question. Hmm. Probably I'd have to say Ava. Ava Hewlett.
Who's the one teammate that can make you guys laugh no matter what the situation is?
Faith. Faith Schneider, of course.
Now I'll flip that. Like, who's the most serious? Like the one that takes everything seriously, hard to get them to crack.
I think Sam, but she can joke around, but like if it's a serious situation, she's pretty serious.
If you had to have an award on your teammate for like most likely to succeed in their field of expertise, who do you think is that one person that whatever they do, it's just gonna kind of come naturally?
Probably Faith, I think.
Faith is getting a lot of love.
I know.
And she's down at the post office pub right now getting interviewed by Jake Silak. So,
Yeah.
man, hopefully she's sharing the same thing for you.
I hope so.
When you think about what it means to you to be a Ram, this is one of our last questions before we let you go. What kind of things make you proud to represent Mineral Ridge and wear those colors and to be able to be a part of this school system?
This school system is amazing. I feel like we're such a small school, and everyone knows each other. Everyone comes together and supports each other. Like for football, everyone's in the student section. They come to our volleyball games. So I think the support is really important, and it makes me happy to be a Ram.
All right, Olivia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate the time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the season, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Anthony Hartwig here with a Girard volleyball player profile, fresh off the Indians' big win over Crestview yesterday. Bree Littell. Bree, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And like I said, we talked about it. You got the post-game interview. This was a big matchup on Saturday over Crestview. We're going to start with it. What's the kind of emotions after now that there's a day to take it in?
We're still all very excited, and we just got our bracket today for tournaments, so we kind of know like everything that's going on there, and it's just really exciting for us.
Tournament time. You guys are the 1 seed. You've put in the work to get there. And there's a lot of good teams in this district. What's it mean to you to know that other coaches in this district voted you guys as number 1?
I think it's awesome because our team's like a family. I think we're different from a lot of schools, and we all have been playing together for so long, and we're so close with Coach Phil. It just makes it so much more fun, and we just love it.
Playing together for so long, but next year, I know I don't want to go too far in the future here, but next year you're going to lose a pretty good senior class, and you're going to be the one that has to step up and be a senior leader. What kind of things go to your mind when you try to even think about that time?
Honestly, I think I just have to know to be a leader, and honestly, I really look up to Lauren, so I want to be just like her and lead the team and just do my best and get us to where we are now next year.
This season, how much have you been taking in watching these seniors lead and watching players like Lauren do what seniors have to do so you would be ready next year when you take that leadership role?
I know that it's going to be up to me, and I'm going to be like a big part of it. So I just really want to act like they do, and they're all so caring for us, and they do so much for us. So I want to be just like them and really just make it fun.
Not to say that you don't lead pretty well right now, even before your senior season. Definitely one of the statistical leaders of this team, but also, the times that we've been able to see you guys play, emotional leader of the team, energetic leader of the team. How much responsibility do you take to keep this team up and going and energy throughout a volleyball match?
I take a lot of it. I think me and Bailey are probably like the most like energetic, I think, because we play club together, so we just kind of like get really excited, and I just think it's really fun, and I just get so into the game, especially when we have big ones. So
Coach Walters was telling me that back in your freshman season, you were the first ever Girard player to have 57 attempts and without an error, and you are such an efficient hitter. What do you think goes into your ability to stay efficient and stay away from the errors? On Saturday, you only had 2 of them against Crestview with 23 kills. What kind of things do you do to try to always keep the ball in play?
I think it's just like the amount of experience I have and for how long I've been playing. It's just makes it a lot easier for me to be consistent because of all the time I've put into this sport. And I thank all my coaches for that, because without them, I definitely would not be where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, people only come to Girard, they just see you play. They don't understand the time that gets put in. So I want to give you a chance to just go into time that you put in into this sport outside of just the games at Girard and what you kind of do to really make yourself the player that you are.
Like even in the off season, like with club and everything, that is a lot of time into it. The club season's longer than the school season, so it really helps too. And then also like camps and going to colleges and just always being around it really helps.
All right, so you also get the opportunity to get coached by a couple of different people. You obviously Phil's one of the great coaches in the area for high school, but then you go in the club and, like you said, you're going to camps. You get all these different minds of volleyball, thrown at you. How much does that help you getting, advice from different minded people and maybe different aspects of the game and different points of view?
It really helps because you get to know like what other people see and what they think you need to work on. So it helps with like other things. Like some coach will be like, "Oh, you need to do this," and another coach will say something different. So it kind of helps to fix in a bunch of different aspects of the game.
You are the lefty, and
Yeah.
that's how you kind of present yourself and separate yourself from everybody else on the floor. Does that give you any kind of advantage, especially when you're on the right side, being able to stay away from those pins with the left-handed swing?
I think it does. I really like playing outside too. Like I played right side for club, but a lot of college coaches really like the lefty outside, so it's kind of an advantage in that aspect. But yeah, I definitely think it helps. I just think it's cool to be unique from like most of the other hitters.
And man, you got an aggressive serve too, and this is what we want to talk about. What about your serve, and how have you developed that? And what's kind of your serve routine? What do you go back there, and what's the routine on the service line?
So I'll go back to the line and I'll like drop the ball twice, and then I'll go like close to the floor 4 times. That's my
Twice, four
yeah.
times.
Twice,
So
4
it's got to be it, right?
Yep.
When you kind of look back on your volleyball career, what made you fall in love with this sport, and what age do you think that you really did dedicate yourself to this sport of volleyball?
So I started when I was 10 in the summer. I went to a camp at Mill Creek Park, and the coach for YSU now was the one that was coaching it. She used to coach for Hiram, and she was running the camp. So that's when I first started. It was a beach like little thing, and that's when I really fell in love with it because that coach was like telling my mom, she was like, "Oh, she's a natural, get her into club, like tell her to play." So I was like, okay, like maybe this is my sport.
And you started when you were 10. You just came off of a youth camp at Girard working that. How much importance do you put in pouring into the youth of this sport, since you know that you were like that when you were 10 years old, and it took someone telling you how much of a natural talent you were to get you involved in the sport?
Yeah, I really want the girls to play. Like it's the most fun sport, I think, in my opinion, like in the world. So I really want them to love it, and I want them to see us and want to succeed like we have.
I'm going to give you a chance to brag on the sport you love. What do you think is it about volleyball that makes it just unique and more fun than any other sport out there?
I think it's not only like entertaining to play, but it is probably the most entertaining sport to watch, especially like good games. It's just so like suspenseful. You're always on your toes, and I don't know. It's just really fun.
With your athleticism, I'm sure other coaches in the Girard school system have tried to get you to be on their teams. Um, have you ever thought about doing other sports?
So I've done a bunch of sports like before volleyball when I was younger, and everyone always tells me to play basketball, but I'm horrible at basketball, so I never do that. And sometimes like track, sometimes an option, but I don't have time. Volleyball just takes up my whole life, so I'm just gonna stick with that.
So volleyball does take up your whole life. What about off the court? What are some ways that you try to get yourself away from volleyball to give yourself a little bit of a break here and there when you can afford to?
Honestly, probably just it's mostly schoolwork, hanging out with my team, but even if we're not playing, with my friends, with my family. It's just kind of a relaxing time, taking naps whenever I can.
And since you put so much work into volleyball, how have you kind of avoided that trap that some people fall into where, they either gas out or, they kind of put their identity into the sport and they realize they hinge on their success is their self-value. So how have you kind of separated yourself from that?
Yeah, that's definitely happened to me before. Sometimes I just think that, oh my gosh, this is too much, but I know that it's going to take me places, and if you need a break, then go ahead, have a day, but I just have to keep pushing and like get my goals.
You get a ton of support. Your family is probably one of the most active on our social media accounts, commenting on every Gerard article that we put up. What does it mean to have so much support in your corner, especially like you said that you put so much work into this sport?
It's awesome to have them. They're always supporting me no matter what, and I my mom and my dad are my biggest fans. They're always at my games screaming whenever I get a point or whenever we win. It's crazy, and there's always some family members there. So it's really nice to have people close to you watching.
Are you a part of a big family, or is it more of a small knit family? And what do you think makes your family different than some others?
Our family's pretty big, both sides. My mom has like 9 aunts, so it's definitely a big family. I think we're different because of just how close we are and how much time like we spent together and everything. And I don't know, we have like a bunch of inside jokes, so it's kind of.
What are some of your favorite family traditions that you guys have?
We always go on vacation. My dad's side of the family, we always go to Virginia Beach, or now we go to the lake sometimes during the summer for a weekend, and that's always really fun. So I enjoy doing that.
What's your favorite vacation spot you've ever been to?
Probably Clearwater, Florida. Okay. I go there like every year. It's so fun.
All right, where's one place that you would love to go that you haven't been able to yet?
I definitely want to go to New York City. That's definitely on my bucket list. I just want to go shopping for a day, just there, and just see the city.
All right, we drop you in New York. What's like the first place you're going? Like, have you already mapped it out in your head for when you eventually get to go there?
Honestly, I really want to see like the 9/11 memorial. That's like really interesting to me. So that's like another big reason I want to go, is just to see all that, and like I think it would be cool to see all that.
What about places you'd like to live? Like, if you could live anywhere, whether it be in the country or even out of the country, where's one of your like dream destinations to find yourself?
Florida's definitely a big option. I really want to live there because like I want to go into architecture, so it's a good state to do that in, and definitely like either that or like a big city. Those are my options that I really like.
You know, you've picked some places that are kind of far away, so I'm going to go right into this question. Like, when you're looking at colleges, which, you know, junior year is the time to start doing that. Do you start to look at far away, or are you someone that like would ideally like to stay a little bit closer to home?
So I've been kind of doing both. Like, I'm looking at some in Florida. There's some in like PA and stuff. So it's kind of like close and far. It's just whoever, like, I guess, wants me.
When you're looking at programs, what are some things that are on your the checklist that they have to meet for you to be interested in going to play for them?
Definitely my education comes first before anything. They have to have what I want to major in. And also like the size. I don't want a huge college. I want like decent, like not too big, not too small.
Yeah, like Goldilocks. You just want it just perfect, right?
Yeah, right.
So, when you look at your schooling now and what you were going through in Girard, who are some of your favorite teachers in the school system, and have any of them kind of impacted your life?
Well, my mom teaches there, so that's definitely one. And probably my Italian teacher, Miss Barber. She's always on my side, and she's like second mom to me, so I love her so much.
Would you call yourself fluent Italian?
No.
No. How close? Like another year?
I don't know.
If we put you in Italy, would you still be lost, or would you be able to at least communicate?
I bet I could probably like order something at a restaurant and I'd be good. But that's probably it.
Grazie. That's all I know. That's all I got. What about some of your future goals that you have for yourself? You know, obviously college volleyball, we've already talked about that, but what kind of jobs do you want to see yourself in? And if you kind of could put yourself into a spot in like 5 or 6 years, where would you want to be?
Definitely have graduated college or like about to finish. I want to be able to one day start my own business in like either interior design or architecture and be able to work in that. And my like lifelong goal is that I want to be able to like build houses for celebrities or like well-known people. That is like always been.
That's your goal now. What was your goal when you were like 7? What did little Bree want to do when she grew up?
Well, when we had our preschool graduation, I still remember this, they asked us before like what we wanted to be when we grew up, and during it the teacher was like, Bree, let's tell her she wants to be a rock star when she grows up. So I guess that was my goal.
How have your rock skills developed?
I don't know. I don't think they did.
Do you play any kind of instrument?
I don't.
Can you sing?
No.
Okay, well, maybe you should stick to business.
Yeah, I think I thought I could sing when I was little, but I don't think I can.
So what's your favorite rock song? Let's just go with that.
Me and my dad love rock. We always listen to it before games to hype me up. Oh geez. Oh well, our two ones that we always listen to is AC/DC Thunderstruck and Enter Sandman by Metallica.
All right. What is one song that you personally could always listen to get yourself hyped up?
Oh geez, this is hard. Definitely those two, and I always listen to Murder on My Mind before games. That is my one song. I always listen to it. I don't know why. it just gets me like, in the game mood. I don't know.
You do get a lot of kills, so
yeah.
I guess it fits.
It works.
What about like a karaoke song? If we took you to karaoke night, what song would you have to pick?
Oh geez, probably a song by like Taylor Swift or something.
All right, last question. What is one song on your playlist that maybe is a little bit embarrassing that it is on the playlist, but you're still gonna jam out to it?
I used to be a big fan of Fifth Harmony. I don't know if you know them. They're like a girl band, but I have all their songs.
Yeah, Camila Cabello came out of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I know the times. Yep. All right, Bree, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system, give them all a shout out, and all the people that have been there for you throughout the years.
Thank you to all my friends and family who always come to my games and support me, and my team, my coach, especially Coach Phil, for making me the player that I am. And I love all you guys, and thank you for always being there for me.
All right, Bree, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck in your last regular season game next week, and obviously your tournament run, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
That was first, it was Olivia Booth from Middle Ridge, the senior there, and then Bree Littell, the junior from Girard, the lefty outside hitter. Two great interviews, and before we get into our last one of the day to kind of close out the show, do want to preview the night ahead and what we have on the network tonight. Obviously, we already talked about the live interviews with DJ at Legends and with Steve at the Golden Dawn, but we also have games like we do every night on the network, as well as we look at Tuesday the 11th. We have volleyball. We have 5 volleyball games on the network tonight at 7 p.m. Austintown Fitch will travel to Howland to close out their AAC schedule. Brookfield will, and it'll be Noah Ricks on the call there from Howland, by the way. Middle Ridge will host Brookfield. I will be in Middle Ridge for that one. We have Boardman hosting Canfield, and Donnie Riccatelli will have the call there. An AAC wrap up for both those teams on the season. Orange will host Chagrin Falls. The school will have that one. That is a 6 o'clock start time in Orange. So start your night off for volleyball by watching that one before the other ones get going at 7. And then last but not least, Mike McKenzie will be in Beaver Local. They are playing in the OVAC semifinals against Oak Glen at 7 as they try to move on in the OVAC tournament for the Beavers. Last one down there at the bottom, I almost missed it. Wellsville at Wheeling Central. Coy going to make the trip to Wheeling Central to call that game. I'm guessing that's an OVAC game too, if I am not mistaken, with Wellsville going to Wheeling Central.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right.
On the boys soccer side, we have Warren Harding traveling to Boardman. It'll be Matt Mayer and Jordan on the call for that one, and that will do it for games on the network tonight. So total of 7, 6 volleyball, 1 boys soccer, and we also have an important soccer game to highlight before we get out of here. Canfield versus Howland. We saw the girls' side go to Howland last night. The boys' side tonight. This is an AAC championship for them as well. For Canfield and Howland, they are both tied at the same record. The point system for the soccer is tied, so pretty much winner of this game takes the AAC. So it'll be a fun one. This one's in Canfield. Last night was in Howland, so this one will be in Canfield as the Tigers and Cardinals battle it out for a championship in the conference. We wish both teams the best of luck. We hope everyone definitely stays healthy. We will talk to Ethan Molachak from Canfield Boys Soccer tomorrow at 1:15. So if the timing's right and they get an AAC championship or they get a share, we can talk to him about that tomorrow, and that'll be nice to have that kind of timing. if it works out that way. But either way, he'll be on the show tomorrow at 1:15 to talk with me and Richie, and Brian Tolnar will be on the show tomorrow as well. We'll have some pre-recorded interviews that we'll also be able to play tomorrow if need be. Before we go, we do want to give out the one more interview. This one's the fresh one right off the oven. Did it in the morning before the show. It is Lakeview senior libero Maddie Bayes. And enjoy this interview. We'll come back and we'll close out the show. Anthony Hartwig here with a Lakeview volleyball player profile. I am joined by senior Maddie Bayes. Maddie, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so when we've talked to your teammates, we've been talking about this goal of getting an NEA championship, and every time we've talked to one of them, it's been there, but you hadn't achieved it yet. Now we can finally talk about achieving this goal, clinching the NEA championship. Before we get into your career and your senior season, how's that feel to accomplish this goal as a team for yourself, especially the way that last year transpired?
We are just so excited and so ecstatic that we finally clinched this opportunity, because last year it didn't go as planned. And now that we're seniors, it just feels so great to be able to leave knowing that we got this chance back and we finally secured the championship.
It wasn't easy this year. Not only did you have Gerard to contend with, but you had a couple of really tough games with Jefferson. You had to go to Jefferson to really wrap this one up. What was that like to just see more and more teams in the NEA be able to battle you guys?
Well, some of them clearly didn't go as planned, like we wanted them to, but it's just so great knowing that there are teams out there that can help us compete and that can just give us a little run for our money, just so that we can show them what we are capable of doing. So going into those gyms, knowing that it might not always come out as we want it to be, it really just helps us and motivates us to play our best volleyball that we can and just gel together as a team, because we know what we are capable of. And it really just motivates us in a way that we just have to be our best and do our best and make no room for mistakes.
You are the energy spark plug of this team. Every picture we have of a celebration, you're in the middle of it. You're screaming your head off. Where does that come from? And is that something that you grew into? Have you always been kind of the energetic, emotional leader to this team?
I would definitely say that it is something I did have to grow into. Freshman year, I was really quiet. I didn't say much. I didn't do much. But once I stepped up to the varsity level, I knew that this is something I had to take on, like just a different role that I had to take on. And it truly helped me find myself in a way, because I do get excited. It's just so amazing being out there and seeing what we can do and just seeing how far we can go. So just being the energy, it really helps me just help people and make sure that they know that they're okay and they're not messing up. So it's honestly just a great honor to be able to bring all of that energy onto the court. But it's definitely something I did have to grow into and learn to be comfortable with. And I'm so glad I did.
Have you kind of like thrown shame out the window and you're like, I don't care what faces I make now and I don't care how loud I get. Doesn't matter. Because like I see some of these pictures and I'm like, I could use that, but Maddie would probably be really upset with me.
Yes, because sophomore year and a little bit of junior year when they all started coming out, I was just like, okay, whatever. I was like, that it looks so bad, but it's okay. It looks fun. So just post it.
One of the best celebration pictures this year that come out has been the Tara Lytle celebration with 1,000 kills just last week against South Range. You've been playing with her for a long time. These seniors have been playing together for a long time. So as a group collectively, what did it mean to see your sister really in arms meet that goal that she's had for her whole career?
I am just so proud of Tara. She has worked so hard. No one deserves it as much as she does. As a team, we know that this is what she's been striving for since her freshman year. So it is just so great and so amazing to see her achieve this goal, because we've been practicing and playing with her for 6 years now. And it's just amazing to see what she can accomplish and that she did accomplish that goal of hers. So I'm so proud of her.
You've been in that same position since you started on varsity, the libero spot, and you've been good since you stepped on the floor. So this is going to be something that's going to be hard for fans to get, but you have improved every year. What do you think you've improved the most on from last year to this year when you look specifically at your senior season?
I think that I greatly improved on my serve receive because it was just so bad last year. Like, it wasn't bad, but there was definitely room for improvement. So I definitely think that with the help of my coaches and everything, that has definitely gotten better. And not only like on and off, like not only on the court, but on and off the court, I think I've greatly improved on my role to people as well. Because I'm always there, like getting people up, trying to make sure that they're okay, knowing that they're okay to make a mistake. So definitely, I think my role and my serve receive has definitely gotten a lot better.
When you talk about serve receive as a libero, does it give you that like fire if teams think that you're someone they can attack on serve? I mean, as the libero who's known to be the best defender on the team, it's got to make you angry if a team walks into the gym and thinks to themselves, "This is the girl that we're going to attack on serve."
It definitely does, because clearly they know I'm there for a reason. It's like, why are you coming after me? But I don't take it with like anger. I'm just kind of grateful that they do it so that I know that I can pass the ball and get it to the setter, and then we can get the next point. You know what I mean? Like,
you do a lot of the stuff that doesn't get on the stat sheet, or if it does, it gets on the bottom of the article with digs and serve receive and passing. How do you handle just being under the radar and maybe not being in the limelight like some of your other teammates?
Yeah, sadly it does happen like that, but I don't let it really affect me because I know I'm not that flashy position like Tara or Reagan or Emma, but I'm just so grateful that I can be there to support my team, and that though people may not look at me as this flashy player, I know what I'm capable of and my teammates know what I'm capable of. So just being there and being able to support them, it kind of cancels everything else out.
What's the biggest misconception that your classmates have had about the libero spot, or questions that you've gotten about the libero spot?
Definitely, what's the point of me wearing the different color jersey?
How many people think you just forgot your jersey and you had to wear something else? I mean, that's what I heard that, and I was like, okay.
I've had that come up a couple of times. I can't lie, but they're just like, what's the point? And I'm just like, well, and it's kind of hard to explain it to them because they don't really understand. But I'm just like, guys, just let it go.
I'm special. That's it.
Exactly.
When you think about that position, and obviously you have to take pride in it, and it's kind of a sisterhood to be a libero because there are tons of really good liberos in the area. When you got it, what did it mean to you to be able to the respect that you had from your coaching staff, who does know the importance of a libero, to be saying as a sophomore, we're going to trust you to go there and lead our back row?
Since sophomore year, it was just such an amazing honor that I was able to get that position because, like you said, it's not an easy position, and it truly does mean that they trusted me back there. So ever since sophomore season, I just took that and I just ran with it. Like, it was just such a great honor because freshman year, I looked up to their libero and I watched her every move. I watched her practice. I watched what she looked at on the court. And I truly didn't think that I would get that position. And knowing that I got it, it was just such a great feeling because it was one of my goals. And even as a sophomore, I got that. And that's not something you see every day on every team. So it was just such an amazing honor. And I loved every second of that moment.
All right. So now the other thing I want to ask about the libero position is obviously your job is to read the other hitters and make sure that you know what the other hitters are bringing to the table. How much better have you gotten since sophomore year of just scouting the other team and trying to be as prepared as you can coming into a game, knowing what hitters are bringing to the table?
Definitely sophomore year, I had no clue what was going on. I was just trying to be there and not do the most. But this year, I definitely took my time in scouting other teams, like watching them play other games, watching them live, watching them broadcasted. Even when we start warming up and the other team's warming up, sometimes I'll just stand by myself in the back, just like watching the hitters, watching how their shoulders turn, watching when they turn, watching when they go up and tip the ball. So definitely I've greatly improved so much in that, because even in practice, I'm just watching the hitters turn their shoulders, watching them tip. So it definitely helps me be way more prepared.
Who is the hardest hitter you've had to go up against in your career?
Hardest hitter. Definitely sophomore year when we played NDCL in the district finals. I have no clue who these people are, but they had one really good middle and one outside. Those were probably the hardest hitters I've ever went up against.
Well, they do have Jared Vicious there, who is, by the way, committed to go to Nebraska to play volleyball. So I
Yes,
think
so
that's a
I've
good choice.
heard.
I think that's a good choice.
Yes.
And I think your coach has told us multiple times how happy she is that you don't have to see them in the tournament anymore.
Oh, yes.
Down in Division III. Speaking of tournament, it is tournament time. We have the brackets out. You guys know your path to a district championship. Getting those brackets in your hand and being able to set another goal and say, okay, we've got our conference championship. Now let's go get this district. What's that been like for the last couple of days for this team?
I think we're honestly just so excited about it, because we know who we're playing, we know who we're going to go up against, and we know what to expect. We've played these teams, we've practiced these teams, we've scrimmaged them. So we know what to expect, and we know where we need the most practice at in those areas once we face those teams. So there's always room for adjustment, but honestly, we're just so excited and grateful that we get this opportunity to go up against these teams and potentially come out as district champs.
We've talked about Coach Guthrie a little bit, but I want you to talk about how much he has meant to you throughout your 4 years of volleyball. And now that this senior year is here, you can get a little bit more reflective, a little bit more sentimental. How much has she helped you grow as a volleyball player?
She has helped me grow in so many ways. Like I said before, as a freshman, I was just so quiet, did not say a thing. But once sophomore year hit and all of our other seniors left, and I needed to step up to that role, I knew she trusted me, and it is just so great knowing that a coach can trust you like that and just expects you to go out and give everything you got every single day. And not only has she helped me grow as a player, but she also helped me grow as a person, just like I said. But as a player, she is always there helping me no matter what. Even if it's just the slightest little thing, she will help me, because she knows that I will take it, and then I will try and do everything I can to fix it, or just do whatever I can. And I know she looks up to me off the court and on the court to make sure that everything's okay, and just making sure all of the players are set and that they are ready to play. So she has helped me grow so much over the years, and I'm so grateful that I got to be able to be coached by her for 4 years.
Can you think of a specific example of something that maybe you were struggling with and she really was the one that guided you through it and got you to figure out what the problem was?
So sometimes when we get in serve receive ruts, it's really bad. And sometimes she'll just tell me, she'll be like, just scoot up. And then by shank a pass, she'll be like, just hold your platform down. It's a short flat, it's a short float serve, and that I'll just have to keep my platform down and hold it instead of just swinging my arms and then I would shank the ball if I were to do that. So she always helps me with serve receive, just making sure my platform is down and that I'm not moving it. So yeah, just my serve receive.
All right, so you go from the quiet freshman to the senior that is in charge of the team's TikTok account. That's a big responsibility. I've heard how much they count on you, and the TikToks are good. What do you take with that? How do you handle that, and how do you like the responsibility?
I really like doing it for my team, knowing that I get to capture everyone's movement, everyone's next move. It's really fun, especially because it's a team thing that we can all do together and bond over, because we're always doing just different things in them. So I really like doing it for them, and just it helps me connect with the underclassmen, and we all just get to laugh about it together.
All right, putting you on the spot, what is your favorite TikTok that you guys have made so far?
Definitely the one from Gerard. There's just everybody is being put together in one video, and we're all just bonding, laughing, having a good time. And the outcome was really good for us too, which also helped the video.
Yeah, outcomes are always easy to make a TikTok when you get that dub.
Yes.
What about some things that you want to see yourself in the future? The senior season, so we got to talk about future goals and things you want to do outside of high school.
So after high school, I plan to go to college, and I would really like to study criminal justice and criminology studies, and then minor in psychology. And then once I get out, hopefully I can become involved in the forensics end and just help investigate and detect crimes.
So when you're so sure of what you want to go into and you're so sure about criminal justice, is there a life experience or a family member that makes you want to do that, or is it just something that you kind of fell into?
There is nobody in my family that does anything remotely related to that. It's just really something I fell into because I do not want to do the same thing every day, and just a field like this is so interesting to me, and it can change any time of day. Every single day it's something new versus a office job where it's just the same thing every day, and I can't do that. So my family, they all have like office jobs or just jobs that don't tend to change. So it's really something I fell into because just being able to do something different every day and not knowing what's coming next is just such a great feeling to me.
Has senioritis hit in school yet, or are you still trying to truck it through senior year?
Honestly, senioritis hit last year, junior year. I was so excited watching the seniors be able to finish up their last weeks of school and watching their graduation rehearsals. So I'm just so excited to finally get out of high school, but I'm really scared for the real world, but I'm excited.
What scares you the most about living on your own?
Paying bills, to be honest, because I don't know how to pay a bill. It sounds so stupid, but I have no idea how to pay a bill. I don't know how bills work. Like, my dad takes care of those. I don't know.
We need some serious crash course before I leave this house.
Yes.
So one last thing before we let you go, I want you to be able to just talk about the impact the senior class has had on this program. And if we were to ask a teammate next year that's still on the team, like one of the underclassmen that will be an upperclassman next year, what impact that you yourself left on Lakeview, what would you hope their answer would be?
I hope that they think I left a great amount of energy on the court, and I was just a really great teammate overall, because on the, like, talking about the underclassmen, I just try and make sure that they know that they are okay when they get into a varsity game. I just always try and make them comfortable in the setting, and just know that just help them know that it is okay if they make a mistake, because that is a lot of pressure. I've been in their shoes. I know what it's like, and it doesn't feel the best when you make a mistake in a varsity game. But I hope that they understand and that they can see how much energy I bring to the court, and that I'm truly just trying to help them and just bond with them. So, yeah.
All right, Maddie, give a shout out to your support system and all the people that have been with you throughout the 4 years.
I would like to thank my dad, who's always been my number one supporter since 7th grade, and my other seniors on the team, since we've all been playing for so long together, and my coaching staff, Coach G, Coach Nate, and Coach Laney. Thank you guys so much for all that you have done for me for these 4 years.
All right, one last go around with Manny Bayes. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It seems like it's a yearly thing. We appreciate the time. We love talking to you, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
Manny Bayes, senior libero from Lakeview, and that'll do it for Running Point today on this Tuesday episode. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3, Power Hour from 3 to 4. We have 7 games total on the network tonight. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find them for nothing, completely free. And you can also check out live interviews at Legends Food and Drink, and the Golden Dawn Restaurant with South Range and Ursuline, respectively. Thank you so much to all the players that gave us their time the last couple of days to put up those interviews. And thank you guys for tuning in today to Running Point, brought to you by